Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. We're going to cover this video here and react to it from Inside Games called Starfield Killed Xbox Inside Games. This is from 4 days ago as I record this, and I am recording this on February 12th. So this original video came out February 8th. I'm not sure when this will get edited and uploaded myself, but just be aware. So the original video that I'm reacting to was from February 8th, 2024. I don't know how many of facts might have changed since then, I'll be honest. I've heard things already. I've already had someone point out to me that they saw that the original leaker who said Starfield was being released onto PlayStation has come out and said they're wrong. If any of you have seen or heard that, send me a link. Link me down below. Let me know where that actually is. I haven't seen it myself. I haven't gone looking for it, but I haven't seen it either. So I don't know, how true that is. Not saying the person who told me that is lying, but I'm just saying I don't personally know how true that is. I don't really know what's going on, but we know Xbox appears to be in trouble. And interestingly enough, Inside Games is going to have the take that Starfield killed Xbox. And I'm not sure they're wrong. So let's get into it.
Welcome back to Inside Games, the only gaming news show brave enough to blame Starfield for the rumored death of Xbox consoles.
Oh boy, we are cashing in on some rage bait, clickbait there. We better get some views for this, Bruce.
You are, yeah.
Believe it or not, though, we can actually reasonably make the case through sales data that Xbox probably wouldn't be in the position they're rumored to be in right now if Starfield had moved Xbox consoles like it was probably expected to.
Yeah, but
that's something I don't usually think about. Not being a console owner, I don't think about the fact that Starfield was one of the things they designed it to do was hoping it was going to be such a huge thing. People were going to be buying Xbox console games so they could play Starfield. Again, why Microsoft would think that when they know they're putting the game out on PC? Why would you just not think anybody who doesn't already own an Xbox console is just going to play it on their PC? How do multi-billion-dollar companies actually get this stupid? Like, that's a legit question I have. How do they actually get this stupid? All right, moving on.
but it didn't. Like, it really didn't. And now it looks like the console wars are over. And I mean, PlayStation, they won.
Yeah, weird. That's kind of what it sounds like after news broke that Microsoft is planning to release a bunch of Xbox exclusives on PlayStation 5, including their crown jewel, Starfield.
Is it really their crown jewel?
They want it to be.
To hear more about all of this, we got to throw to Inside Games crown jewel of a staff reporter, Charlotte.
Really quick before it gets started, Bruce, could I interest you in a used Xbox Series S?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, if you know anyone that's looking for one, let me know. That's unrelated.
Wow. Thanks to my viewers filling me in a little bit on what the Series S is and how it's very underpowered and why it's helped to the downfall of Xbox itself, since every game coming to Xbox has to be able to be played on every console, and the S is underpowered, making a lot of games not able to really, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I now know what the Series S is. Now I know what it looks like. So cool. I'm learning things, people. I'm a PC gamer. What can I say? I'm proud of being a PC gamer. It's not because I want to lord it over console people. It's just, it never made sense to me to buy another thing to play games on when I already have a PC. It just never made any sense to me. And at this age in life, it never will. So that's fine, though.
Lots of rumors that games like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves were coming to rival platforms. Xbox Era reported that Microsoft is planning to launch Starfield on PS5 after the release of the Shattered Space expansion that's due out later this year. But it goes deeper than that. They also reported that Microsoft has made additional investments into PlayStation 5 dev kits to support ongoing development efforts.
I just like the idea of Phil Spencer in an overcoat buying dev kits out the back of a van. behind like Sony HQ.
Yeah, that's weird.
Unsurprisingly, Xbox Era also reported that this decision to release exclusives on other platforms has been the subject of fierce internal debate at Microsoft.
Apparently, while they said some weren't happy with the decision, recouping the potential money left on the table.
I can imagine their debates are a bunch of drunk people who could barely get their heads off the friggin' table, with strippers lying all over the floor and confetti and used condoms and 6-week-old moldy food all over the place, trying to play rock paper scissors on to whether or not they give up to PlayStation. That's kind of how I imagine the Xbox offices.
By releasing elsewhere has arguably won out. Well, look at that money. I can't believe it.
Money. Weird.
And that's not all. Another big Xbox exclusive from Bethesda, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, also might come to the PS5. That's according to The Verge, which reported that a new multi-platform approach for certain Xbox games is emerging inside Microsoft, like a parasite. Adding that Microsoft is weighing up which titles will remain exclusive and others that will appear on Switch.
I don't know. I'm going to say something controversial because I feel like an ass right now. So I'm going to be one. Isn't Indiana Jones as a video game just for people who don't like big boobs, so won't play Lara Croft Tomb Raider games? Isn't that kind of like how it is? As a movie, I understand Indiana Jones being kind of a groundbreaker to a certain degree. It certainly reinvigorated that kind of movie. Video game wise, I think Tomb Raider's got it all over anything Indiana Jones will ever do. And honestly, it's a popular game to begin with, but when you actually allow, Lara Croft to look like a woman, even better. Because then even people who aren't fans of the franchise will buy it and maybe become fans.
Or PS5 in the future. The veteran journalist Jeff Grubb also claimed that the venerable Gears of War franchise, which has been an Xbox staple since dinosaurs roamed the Earth, is also headed to PlayStation.
Yeah,
I'm not a Gears of War player, so that doesn't really affect me. I did want to say one more thing on Indiana Jones, though. It has absolutely nothing to do with video games, but it does have to do with movies. In spite of so many people that I know or that I've heard or seen saying that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was a terrible fucking movie, it took me a while to get around to viewing it. When I viewed it, I thought it was the second best Indiana Jones movie ever made. After the first one. It was better than the Temple of Doom, which I still freaking loved. If I were rating Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny out of 10, I would give it a 9.6. Whereas I would give like a full 10 to the first Indiana Jones. And, Temple of Doom, a 9. I won't talk about the other ones in between there because garbage. Kingdom of the Skull or whatever. Yeah.
that'd be weird. Gosh, what a turn of events that'd be. And all this might be happening sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Dial of Destiny.
Evidence is already popping up in the games themselves, which we'll cover right after a quick word from today's sponsor, Factor. Today's episode of Inside Games
I
is brought to you by
don't want to watch
Factor.
you guys eat
So please
and
get
cook.
50% off your first
Expansion. Hi-Fi Rush, the well-received rhythm action game, is apparently due out on PlayStation in the first quarter of this year. That's coming soon. A recent game update even included custom shirts for the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5.
And all this is causing a commotion online. It's just a big dust cloud with Xbox.
Oh God, no! We're losing Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, is it a popular game? I don't know. It to me, it looks like I don't know. It looks like Dance Dance Fever. It's just like really, this is like the kind of game people might go in and play in an arcade while their friends videotape them and laugh. I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me at all. But again, to each their own. Is there really going to be a big furor, though, a big uproar over the fact that it's going from an Xbox exclusive to PlayStation to Hi-Fi Rush? Is the uproar only going to be because Xbox people don't want to lose any of their games to anywhere else because they're worried about the state of Xbox? Does anybody really care that much about Hi-Fi Rush going over there and getting a few more sales?
Controllers and arms flailing out of it. A lot of people are accusing Microsoft of abandoning its newest consoles, the Xbox Series S and X.
Xbox influencers were
Seems that way.
particularly upset, Starscream134 wrote on X, I was wrong all this time. Xbox doesn't care about us. Microsoft doesn't care about us. We've been fighting this war for nothing.
Oh, man. Again, we get into the console warriors. People, lay down your weapons and take care of your brains because they've all turned to mush. Stop with the console wars. Nobody outside of you gives a crap. You're making up things that don't actually exist and fighting a war that isn't there. Who cares? You both should be able to get along with each other and still survive. You know, when you go out and you're like, oh, I'm an Xbox fan, so I'm going to downvote every PlayStation game and blah blah, go badmouth it and give it bad reviews and blah blah. If you're a PlayStation fan, you're like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to gaslight everybody at Xbox and I'm going to spread all kinds of nasty rumors about them and their games and people, grow the fuck up. Nobody gives a shit about your stupid little head games you're playing. Nobody cares. It's a gaming console. Grow up.
Wait, what? No, come on. That can't be real.
At least they realize it now, you know?
That can't be real. That can't be real.
Youth lost in the trenches.
It's like the lone Japanese soldier on that island, still fighting proudly for Imperial Japan, fighting World War II well after the fact. And no, Xbox and Microsoft don't care about you. It's a company.
No, they don't. No.
Xbox Yoda posted on the X platform, quote, genuinely feel terrible for convincing my sister to get an Xbox instead of a PS5. Like, I actually feel like I let her down. Oh. And content creator Kid Smooth posted a video of himself singing about the Xbox situation, asking rhetorically, why did I buy this? By the way, Bruce, why would you want to buy an Xbox Series S? An incredible series of consoles, games that can run up to 1440p.
Hold on, let me check my budget. No.
Belts are tightening all across America. I hate to see it.
Truly a recession, maybe.
Yeah, a business move like this would be uncharacteristic for the game space, at least. Platform holders that make their own hardware platforms almost never publish their own games on rival platforms while continuing to produce and support their own.
Yeah, historically, the last such shift happened in the early 2000s when Sega exited the hardware business after their Dreamcast console experienced...
I remember Sega Genesis back in the day. Jeez, yes. I remember gaming consoles back in the friggin' mid to late 80s. Those were the days. Let me tell you.
A deep drop-off in sales following the launch of the PlayStation 2. Sega's still in business, obviously. So it wasn't the death of their company. They just changed a lot.
Yeah, but they did stop making their own hardware platform. So they just kind of went everywhere else. I don't know if that's what we're going to see from Xbox here. It's worth noting that Xbox boss Phil Spencer has said in the past that Xbox future is tied to software and services, not consoles.
No, Trent, don't comment on this.
So a move like this isn't exactly shocking.
Don't do it.
His focus on pushing Game Pass, very practical evidence of that strategy.
We should add, though, that Phil backtracked somewhat last year and said the consoles are critical to Xbox's business. But
you have to say that or you're never going to get any sales of what you still got out there. Whether or not you actually put out another console in the next few years or whatever, we'll see. If there's something in development already that's close to coming out, maybe, but otherwise I really doubt it. Unless they put out something that's a large change from what they've been doing, and then basically disown all the other ones before it. That would be weird too, but who knows?
Honest with you, I think he said that after he heard the outcry and was like, no, buy the Xbox, buy it.
Yeah, Phil's pretty good at managing image. I'll say that. The way he says things makes people happy. So I don't know. What did Phil have to say about all these recent developments, Charlotte?
Well, he finally responded on Monday, writing on X, "We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned."
Okay, I will, Phil. So why is Microsoft considering such a drastic shift in strategy? Hey, guys. I'm going to tell you the answer, because it's always the answer for every corporation. It's money.
Cash, moolah, scratch,
Yeah.
V-Bucks.
Definitely money.
Yeah.
Windows Central editor Jez Corden tweeted that Microsoft has essentially decided they aren't going to make enough money with the current strategy, adding that they want to build healthier margins and cash flow using Sony's install base to then reinvest in growing the Xbox ecosystem.
Okay, what? For clarity, I'm saying multi-platform stuff for Xbox is happening, not the Sarah Bond will announce it. It would be awful to let Sarah take the heat for this, since it's failure of Xbox projects Sarah wasn't even vaguely involved in since 2012 that's led to this. So they're saying various Xbox projects since 2012 have failed. That's what's leading to what's happening with Xbox right now. So it's been a long time coming. A lot of mismanagement, apparently. It says Microsoft has essentially decided they aren't going to make enough money with the current strategy. Well, when you decide that, you need to change strategy, definitely. Like that at least is good business sense right there. Whether or not it's too late, or whether or not you make the right changes, I have no idea. But they want to build healthier margins and cash flow. Okay, build healthier margins equals make more money off each thing. And cash flow equals make even more money off each thing. Using Sony's install base. What does that mean? Using Sony's install base. That's basically saying we're going to be releasing our shit on PlayStation. We're going to make more money by doing this because not enough people are buying it outright here, but over on PlayStation they might. And then we're going to reinvest that money in growing the Xbox ecosystem. In that sense, it's a better plan than going with the status quo. Right? It is. What this does to your consumer confidence, which is already not superb, is another story. And where else, what you're going to grow, what ecosystem you're growing, and where that's going, what direction. If you're just looking to do the same thing, but with an extra infusion of money from something else, this is going to kick your ass 10 ways to Sunday, man. So I hope their people are smarter than this. Their people should be smarter than I am, but maybe not.
Ecosystem using that money.
And this circles us all the way back to Starfield. That was the game in the title. Wasn't that supposed to be the big exclusive that saved Xbox and brought it back to the promised land of selling 50 million consoles?
Yeah.
Surprise! You trusted Bethesda, sucker!
Timing of this in a post-Starfield world, when they really don't have another system seller on deck, sure does imply a lot about how the sales of Starfield went. Well, Xbox called it a success, because of course they're going to do that. They said in December that it had more than 12 million players, which, that's a lot. That's pretty good. But keep in mind that a lot of people were probably playing it on Game Pass instead of paying full price for it.
Starfield needed to not only bring...
Bet you about 11.5 million of those at least were on Game Pass. I don't know the numbers, but...
players, but reverse the plateau Xbox has seen in console sales and Game Pass signups. Charlotte, did it do that?
Well, there was some evidence in the UK that its launch in September spiked Xbox console sales. But overall, it didn't move the needle for Xbox. Game Informer reported in October that while Starfield did help contribute to a 13% increase in overall Xbox content and services revenue, overall, Microsoft's hardware revenue was still down by 7%.
So they actually fell 20% and then got a 13% bump from Starfield. Ouch.
Which means that a lot of people played Starfield, but it wasn't a console seller.
Yeah, it actually, console sales actually went down when their big exclusive launch. That's not good.
Well, you gotta pass.
I mean,
of course.
You can compare that to hardware sales spikes you see when Marvel Spider-Man launched. PlayStation 4 sales got a huge late game boost, and I'm sure Microsoft was hoping for that and didn't get it. So yeah, historically, this is how it usually goes. Back in the day, games like Final Fantasy VII were credited with single-handedly boosting the sales of their accompanying consoles. It's pretty clear Starfield did not do that, nor did it seem to really flood Game Pass much.
Yeah, it's a different world now. By all accounts, the Xbox Series X and S still lag behind the PlayStation 5 in terms of sales. And of course, Nintendo has sold 140 million Nintendo Switches.
That's the irony here. Microsoft might be getting out of hardware. Meanwhile, the entire world is waiting for Nintendo to announce a a dated tablet that runs games a little bit better.
So it could be that Microsoft decided that after all the mega purchases of Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, along with tons of other smaller developers, they just aren't making enough money.
Hey, we overspent.
Guys,
We're not
by
taking anything
walling
in.
off their software to be Xbox only. And you know what they need more of? Money.
I think we're ready to call it. This is the profitability guillotine we've been waiting for Microsoft to drop because they've been burning cash for a while. It sure does seem like after the acquisition went through, the profitability switch has been flipped now. They're done spending and ready to earn. Accordingly, Xbox already trimmed costs by laying off almost 2,000 employees. So they tightened the one valve. Now it's time to bring in the revenue.
Some tidbits revealed during the Microsoft acquisition trials show that Xbox is well behind their projected earnings for Game Pass as well. An internal slide puts Microsoft's expected Game Pass subscribers around 50 million in fiscal 2023. The last number we saw was spotted on LinkedIn by friend of the show Timor222, and it claimed total subscribers of 30 million. That's a big shortfall. Spencer even commented that if they didn't make more Game Pass ground off of consoles, that Xbox might exit the gaming business entirely.
So you're not getting console sales. You're not getting enough people signing up for the Game Pass. And then when you put a game out as an exclusive, it's not really an exclusive because it's on PC as well. PC people are paying for it, but a lot of them also refunded it, and a lot of them drove the Steam ratings way down when they played it for a while. And also on top of that, you're just not getting enough. So the people who are playing it on Xbox are playing it on Game Pass, but you don't even have enough people with Game Pass. Oh yeah, it's like a cycle. It's like you're stuck inside of a circle and you can't get out, and the inside of the circle is all deadly spikes, traps, and stuff, and you're trying to run as the circle is rolling, and you're just getting cut to shreds. I'd play that game. We could call it the Xbox downfall game. I'd play it. Oh man, it would be pretty amazing if they pull out of this. It really would, and I'm not saying they can't do it. But it would be amazing at this point. It really would be, and it's going to take them a while, and it's going to take some absolutely astute decisions. And if they haven't been working on it before now, and they're only just starting now, if they're only just starting now, it's probably too late. But if they've been working on things for a while behind the scenes before all this leaked out, they may have a chance. There may be a chance they do it. We'll see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell, Fuzz Buddy. Only time will tell.
By 2027.
Yeah, or to put it another way, Spencer commented during all the acquisition lawsuits that the Xbox business runs at a single-digit profit margin, which isn't good.
It's less than
Microsoft
10%
as a whole
profit.
runs at a
Wow.
36% profit margin, and it sounds like Xbox is somewhere in the 8 to 9% range.
Yeah,
Wow.
so if Phil's bosses want Xbox to deliver the same profits that the rest of Microsoft does, he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Good
Got a
luck.
lot less money to spend and a lot more money to make. So what do? You reduce costs, you increase revenue. It's not going to get pretty from here, especially if you've enjoyed how cheap and plentiful Game Pass has been.
Oh boy. And now they're running the risk of alienating loyal Xbox customers who've stuck with the console for the promise of great exclusives. Now it's for the controller and the console
Maybe they'll get rid of the Game Pass at some point. I really don't know.
operating system?
Yeah, if you just like the way Xbox looks, I guess. Xbox is just extrapolating out now. It's going to be a platformless service that you can sign in on, with your smart TV or whatever. But we got to come back to earth here. This is a rumor. Remind ourselves, none of this has been announced yet. Even though there's an awful lot of smoke, we will hear official details at a business event next week. But that kind of we're kind of floating in limbo until then. So what do y'all think? Do you think these rumors are credible? Do you think?
So next week, they said that on the 4th. So the next week should be between the 11th and the 18th or whatever. And as I'm recording this, it's the 12th. So it should be this week. We'll see.
Think that we're moving away? You think console wars are done entirely? It's now just the login screen that you
wouldn't
put your
say
details
that.
into to get to
We'll
your
see,
games?
though.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't help but feel that the Xbox as we know it isn't it. I think there will be another generation of the Xbox, especially this late in the game. For them to, you have to assume that there's been development behind the scenes on new tech, right? Because it's been how many years since the series came out. But I don't know. I feel like we're going to see I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, this is not a hugely good look because between the Xbox and PlayStation, there's a lot of redundancy, and as much as I like to see
A lot of burping. Hiccuping,
competition,
sorry. A lot of hiccuping.
If Xbox is just opening the doors to just like, here's all our content, then yeah, I mean, like when games cost $70, like it's hard to justify buying. It's hard to justify buying two different consoles. Like I don't know. It's just like, it just seems like a hard circle to square. So
Sure.
I think, yeah, I think I can't see Xbox topping PlayStation unless PlayStation makes some baffling choice like the way they priced the PS3.
Yep, I completely agree. I really do think this was the plan from the very beginning when they had to go through the merger hearings with Activision Blizzard. I think if, for example, they had said, we're going to buy Activision Blizzard, and the government was like, you bet, then I think they probably would have just been like, whatever, no big deal. But I think since the merger hearings caused them to start looking harder at their business and trying to figure out ways to make more money, they had to start thinking about other ways to do it, and that was putting games on PlayStation, because they have to make the government happy, and they have to make their business leaders happy, and they have to make the shareholders happy. So that's how you do it. I really would love to see the numbers on their actual console profit margin. It can't be very high. There's no way it's going to be super high on, like, you know, for every console they make $20 or whatever. Like, I don't actually know that that's a thing.
So we're not going to cover the last couple of minutes because I like to say something for you all if you're interested in this rest of this conversation. And so we linked down below this video. Thank you to Inside Games for allowing me to do the reaction to this and give my own thoughts and stuff. Really, really sorry about all that hiccuping there. That's not my hiccuping. That's on the original video, honest. And Trent and I wish you all well. Hang in there, Xbox players. Please don't think life is over. It's not. Get outside. Touch some grass, do what you got to do, dust off your PC, plug it in, and play a little Pong. Yeah, that's probably, if you haven't used your PC in a while, maybe that's all it can play. I don't know. You know, or make friends with your neighbors who own a PlayStation. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to get by. From Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. See y'all later. Bye-bye.